happy day after Christmas day after whatever day it is. This is the Going for 2-point conversion minus our intrepid host, Kyle Stenria, who I don't know where he is or what he's doing, but he's not joining us. But Jackie has joined us, even though he should be laying down right now. Go lay down. And we have the lovely and well-dressed Dr. James Ferretti in his Christmas attire, and coming in from New York, but joining us after his long and wondrous vacation is the B League says hashtag Discord Dan, hashtag promo pimp, hashtag Thomas the Tank Engine, hashtag Swiss Miss. My favorite. I just saw it and I love it. Hashtag Swiss Miss. Gentlemen, how are you doing today?
New York by way of the Swiss Alps. That's I can't top that. That's for sure.
No one can.
Not gonna lie, it's getting hard to write these things out. It's running out of.
Well, you only got to do it for what? One more week, right? This is our second to last show, right?
There can't be another nick. There's no way I can create another nickname within the next week. So.
Oh, I'm sure you can. I am
sure you can too.
Also, I've got a gut feeling it might be Boxing Day, so maybe Kyle isn't here because of that.
There you go. It is
us Commonwealth brothers.
Yeah.
What is Boxing Day? What is that?
It's just a day for boxing, isn't it? I don't actually know.
I would say so.
I've never known.
We'll have to find out. We'll have to find out from Kyle next week.
It's a day off. Yeah, it's a day off basically for those in the Commonwealth, give or take. So he's probably
okay.
He's not about, but either way.
All right, I can get down with that. Boxing Day, as long as it doesn't involve actual boxing, I'm good. I'm there. Unless you mean like boxing. Ooh, that would be awesome.
I think it pertains to boxes. I don't think it's actually like boxing. Like the pugilistic.
The pugilistic one.
Boxing. I think it actually pertains to boxes, but we'll have to find out from Kyle next week.
Yes, we will. But this week we're going to start off, and we're going to start off hard. We're going to start off fast because there are so many injuries, and so many of you are in your fantasy finals or semifinals.
I hope so. I hope teams don't still play in week 18. I hope your league is done away with that. I hope if you're playing in week 17, that's your final. But I guess if you're here and you're watching, that's good because that means you're in the finals, or at least you're still alive in your semifinal matchup, and fantasy football is still important to you. So we're gonna do our best to try to get you that fantasy championship.
Yeah, and before Doc starts, because he's going to start like hard and fast, like I said, I need to know, people that are watching, what you need to happen tonight. Because I have Keenan Allen across every league I'm in, and I need him to score a baseline of 25 points, like the lowest.
You need the ageless one to go big. You need Keenan Allen to go big.
I need Keenan Allen to go big, and he was stretching, so I feel good about it because they just showed him like doing his like stretches in the end zone, but. So we need to, everyone who needs Keenan Allen, I need you guys to type it in so we can send it out to the universe because I really, really want to beat this guy really bad. That's just me and, being selfish. All right, Doc, go. Concussions.
Oh, concussions. So this year has been the year of the concussion, right? It's been Tua-gate, and then it's been Concussion City basically all year after that. Well, I think we've come full circle because today – Tua Tagovailoa is back in the concussion protocol for at least the second time, possibly the third time, with yet another concussion. And for those of you that watch the game, I think you can actually pinpoint the play that had happened, and it might explain some of the really, poor play that the Dolphins endured from Tua in the second half. So here's the thing. This might be it for him. Like, there's been so much attention on concussions because of his concussions earlier in the year. Like, he's in the concussion protocol, and most players that go in the concussion protocol are out the week that they have a concussion anyway. So I think it's unlikely that he's going to play for week 17. But for those of you that still play in week 18 and potentially beyond in fantasy playoff leagues, like, they may opt to just shut him down for the rest of the year because of the bad press that they get. Well, that's the thing. Like, I always tell you guys, football's a dangerous sport, right? And when players play, they get concussions. They could be subclinical concussions. They get head injuries. And it's a question of like, when do the optics outweigh like the medical evidence? And I think this is one of those cases where it could just be that the optics are so bad that they just can't risk it. Like they don't want to risk his long-term health, obviously, but they can't risk him going out and getting injured again and having another concussion gate like they had. It seemed like yesterday. I mean, what was it, 2 months ago, right? Like we were talking about this. We did a whole 40-minute segment on concussions because of Tua, and I feel like we're back there again. And yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? I think it's going to be really tough. I think it's going to be tough for them to bring him back this year.
I think I feel like shit because I have 2 in a league, and I was like really, really pissed that he threw those 3 interceptions because my points kept going down. Yeah. And now I felt really bad about it because he was throwing 3 interceptions because he had no idea where he was or who was on his team. So I feel bad, and I think that they should not play him the rest of the year because I don't think he should play football again. I mean, 3 concussions in one football cycle cannot be good for your brain. It just can't.
I think that might be the understatement of the millennium right there. But yeah, I'd be inclined to agree with you. I don't know how they're gonna play it. So it looks like Teddy Bridgewater is gonna get the start this week. I don't know how desperate you need to be to start Teddy Bridgewater in your championship game, but I'm sure there's somebody out there that's gonna have to consider it, and that's where we are.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think, Swiss Miss?
I don't see how. I don't. It's a good one. Oh yeah, I see Smith. Yeah. No, I think they're an NFL franchise, and they'll always do what's best for the NFL franchise. And if they think Tua starting is what's best, they will find a way to put him out there, as we have seen from Miami. Listen, the bad press. I know this sounds weird, but like Tua did pretty good. I think taking a lot of I think he deflected a lot of that away. If that makes sense. He did very well in terms of, no, I told them, I could go back. I said I could do this. They didn't say anything. I kind of like, he did very well to kind of, the team player, he did the team player thing, right?
Yeah. And,
yeah. So I think they're going to look at it and they're going to say, it's a must-win game against the Patriots and whoever else they play. They play the Patriots and Jets, I think. They could probably beat the Patriots with Teddy Bridgewater. The Jets, if Mike White plays and wins this week, might be a different ask. I think they'll give him the week off. Maybe. Likely it's going to be hard because they only diagnosed it on Monday afternoon and not Saturday straight away. So that puts him an extra 2 days behind in the protocol, however it works. So I don't know. I just don't see them not trotting him out there if he can play. I just don't. I don't think
they have to win out, right? To get
no, they only need to win one.
Yeah, I think they're a game up. They got the 7th playoff spot right now, and they're a game up on the Jets and the Pats, I think.
Yeah, so if they win now, that they need to win against the Patriots this week. And if they lose to the Patriots this week, they need the Jets to lose for a chance to jump them. But it's going to be hard to do if the Chargers win today. Like, it's a big cluster because, like, the Titans are in that race as well because now they've lost the spot to the Jaguars.
Steelers are in the race, baby.
Steelers are now in the race. So, like, a lot of teams have caught up in that regard. So I can't see them not putting them out there if something doesn't go right for them this week. I can't imagine it. So I don't know. That sounds horrible, like in regards to like how they treat someone's luck, but it took for Andrew Luck to walk away from how he was being treated or how he wasn't being looked after and all the money he could have profit. I mean, he got a good bit of fair whack of the cash at the end there, but like he could have got so much more with how money's being distributed to quarterbacks now. Imagine what he'd be getting now at the age of 32, 33. Like, he'd be on stupid money.
Well, he had to walk.
He had to walk away from that because he saw how much it wasn't going to change and how much it was going to. Unless Tua does that now, which I doubt, I don't think he's going to walk. There's no way. I think it'd take for someone to step in and say, you need 2 weeks off, and they don't have protocol to do that. Or
he'd need to make that choice. There were a couple of.
To be fair, they didn't pick up his option, right? There's not a chance. I mean, yeah, there's not a chance. There's not a chance he walks away with a playoff on the line. This team was 6-0 at the start of the year before it all went down south for him. There's no way he walks with Hill and Waddle and what they have available. There's no way. I know it's nice to say he's got a concussion and they're going to do right. They've shown that they haven't, and they've shown that they won't, and he's shown that he'll still play through it.
Yeah, I think that's
the problem.
That's fair.
Yeah,
I think that's a fair assessment. So we did have a couple of questions around it from the Discord group. I did want to answer because I'm actually watching the clip again, and you can actually see the back of his head slam against the turf. So I think that was the play that caused the concussion. So the question was, is it possible that Tua suffered another concussion here? So yes, clearly that was the case. He had delayed symptoms. So did the NFL medicals miss the concussion? And that's the thing. We talked about it a few weeks ago. You know, I don't know exactly what happened. If he didn't have symptoms right away and they developed later, if he, downplayed the symptoms because he wanted to stay in the game, we don't know what happened there. So I don't necessarily think anybody's to blame per se. It's just, he passed his concussion tests and he was able to stay in the game. Is that what led to him performing poorly the rest of the game? I think you can surely make that argument that it may have been contributory. Maybe, maybe not. We don't know. So is it possible that an impact or a lesser impact of the head could cause temporary issues because of his previous history of concussions? And, as we talked about a few weeks ago, the answer is yes. So even if he comes back and they make the playoffs for the rest of the year, he's going to, as long as he's playing, he's going to be at risk, at least for the next, week or two, once he gets back out there, that a lesser impact could cause him to have a recurrence of symptoms. I mean, that's the way concussions work. The brain is now kind of sensitized to the trauma. So unfortunately, you see with boxers a lot. You see guys like towards the end of their career, when they're earlier in their career, they get hit with these massive shots and they're still standing. And then when the accumulation starts to happen towards the end of their career, you see them get, potentially knocked out by glancing blows or, just quick head movements. And it's like, okay, like the accumulation factor is taken over and it's probably time to hang them up. So we may or may not see that. So I know it's a big discussion on concussions, but that's where we are with it.
Yeah, it was pre-concussion. He went 9 for 12, 229, 19.1 yards per.
He's having a monster game
with one touchdown. Post-concussion, he went 7 for 13, 81, 6.2 yards per, 3 intercepts.
Yeah.
So people are going to draw comparisons. They're going to say, well, this is what happened after.
Yeah.
But there's no before. He had a bad hit, right? And
he
was cognizant enough to go out and play and do all the rest. So it's very tough. Like, we've been doing this show for a while. I think collectively we can say as a quartet trio tonight, I don't think we've seen anything consistently from the same player pop up so frequently in such a small time.
Yeah. Agreed.
We've had like a foot injury here or there, or like Mike Williams' hamstring injury. Okay. Like, happens every year, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of those things where I don't think we've seen the same player pop up with the same problem, which is with the way that they do testing. It's not like they do testing for a high ankle sprain the same way as they do a concussion. This seems like it's a lot more problems that can go wrong with a concussion impact test, right? I don't think we've seen anything like this before. This is almost like it's a problem. It's a very big problem at the moment. And we're sitting here, week 17, 2 months after this is, or 2.5 months after this has happened, going, what the hell is going on still? It's wild.
Yeah.
It's wild, man.
No end in sight with that.
None.
No.
But I just don't see a way for them if the result isn't positive. I don't see how they don't throw him out there week 18 and say, off you go. See what you can do. We got Teddy just in case. And if Teddy, I think they can beat the Patriots with Teddy Bridgewater. If they can do that, then they'll say take another couple of weeks, come back for the playoffs. I can see them doing that. They're not going to risk him because if they haven't committed to him long term, then why shouldn't they throw him back out there? Like, they don't have to be a moral compass. We've seen NFL teams be horrible towards players.
Yeah.
And players will do it for whatever which reason they need to do it. But I can't see him not playing week 18 if they don't win this week. I couldn't imagine.
Unfortunately, I think I agree with you. So where does that take us? So who else that's out there? Tell us what you need. We're here for you, and we'll collectively send it out into the universe, and
we'll
try to make it happen. B League. You still alive in any leagues? We know Gladys is.
Yes, in my B League league.
Are you the defending champion?
No, I am the commissioner though, and it's just.
Then you won 2 years ago. Then
I did. Yeah, I've been in the final 4 or 5 years straight.
Oh, no big deal.
I don't like winning it though. Like I always believe a commissioner should never win his own league.
Yeah,
his or her own league. I'm one of those people.
You're on an island on that one, my friend. I don't care if I'm the commissioner. I want to win.
Listen. This, if it was a cash league, it'd be different. But this is like my home league with friends and family. So it's one of those things where like I don't want to deal with this shit if like I happen to win it. The commission rigged it again. Here we go. It's like I don't want to deal with it. But no, I need it's an IDP league. I need about 67. He doesn't have anyone left. I have Eckler, Foles, and Quiddy Pay. So I feel like with Quiddy Pay, he's good for a sack and he's good for 5 or 6 tackles. So I think if he has a big game, I'm a chance. But if he also has a big game, it means probably Eckler or Foles hasn't. So Eckler might not have. So it's a conundrum. He needs to have a few hits on Justin Herbert for me to get by, I think. So it's a good word. Yeah, it's a predicament. A quandary.
Conundrum. Rectification. They're all great words.
No, so I got a big one there. So 67. I was looking good last night. I haven't been in the lead all week. But I was looking good last night, and then somehow he had a trio of players playing. And I was looking good at one point, but like somehow of all 3 players, who do you think would blow up? DeAndre Hopkins, Mike Evans, or Leonard Fournette? Which one would?
It was ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Uncle Lenny.
I'm watching this.
I have Cam Akers on my bench.
I'm like, Fournette?
That hurts.
What?
It did.
Fournette?
I cried a little bit inside.
What is going on here?
This is what Uncle Lenny does, though. Like, we've seen this before. Like, they kind of put him in mothballs and bubble wrap for the first, 3 quarters of the season. Then when it gets to be playoff time, they bust him out, and it's Uncle Lenny time.
Guy's telling everyone he's had Liz Frank all year.
Yeah. Now, how about that?
Segue.
Yeah, we can talk about that briefly. So, for those of you that didn't see it, Leonard Fournette put out a tweet since deleted about how somebody was coming after him on Twitter, and he said he let it slip that he was playing with what he said was a Liz Frank injury for weeks. So that may or may not be true, but I guess the thing is, if it is true, seems to be playing just fine, as Dan alluded to. I mean, this past week, 20 rushes for 72 yards, 10 targets from the new check down Charlie, the GOAT, Tom Brady, 9 catches for 90 yards. I mean, that's a monster semifinals, line, and there's no end in sight. I mean, I think you could probably expect more of the same because it's Uncle Lenny time. Like, they're making the playoff push. Like, this is what he does. That's why they signed him to the contract. That's why Tom Brady advocated for him. I think this is what you get.
Brutal.
Yeah, it's
brutal. It's the one thing I didn't need. One thing I didn't need this week.
I was playing against him in a semi too. I wasn't super ecstatic about that.
What happened to you? What happened to you this week? What happened?
Oh, well, we got to get into that. So for those of you that don't know,
I didn't know what happened.
The number 1 seed going into the semifinals. I've been off for a month because I locked up the number 1 seed around Thanksgiving. And this was the week that we were looking forward to.
You went full Green Bay.
Brad Harvin, the number 6 seed, sneaks into the playoffs, beats Gladys by 3 points or something.
Thanks,
Ramondre dropped the ball, and Brad gets in as the number 6 seed and just absolutely took me behind the woodshed and put a slug in the back of my head. I think I'm losing by 80. We still have a couple guys left to go, but Brad Harvin's moving on to the finals, kids. So watch out for that number 6 seed. He had a monster week last week.
Gave you the old yellow treatment. He gave you the old yellow treatment. Just bang.
Yeah. Hats off to him.
Yeah. Whatever. I'm not hats off to him.
I think it's going to be me, and I see Yeti is in the chat. I think it's going to be me and Yeti for the 3rd place game. So hashtag side bet. I'm here for it. You're talking trash last week, so you still want a piece of the dock. I'll be here for you for the 3rd place game.
Oh, Yeti, don't do it. It's a sucker bet, baby. It's a sucker bet. All right, who else has concussions?
Let's see. Gator said he made the finals as a 6th seed, so congratulations there. We got Tua with a concussion. Colt McCoy still recovering from his concussion. So Trace McSorley got the start last week. Didn't do D-Hop owners any favors with 10 targets, 1 catch, and 4 yards, but it's okay. I had D-Hop going against Brad Harvin. I'm not bitter. No guarantees for Colt McCoy, but hopefully he's back for Week 17 versus the Falcons. So there's another concussion. Let's see who else had one. We had Jonnu Smith left the game with a concussion. I think him and Hunter Henry actually collided, and Jonnu Smith got a concussion, and Hunter Henry hurt his knee. So they could be without both of their tight ends, which I don't even know who that leaves them with. Who's left it at tight end for the Patriots if both of them miss?
They got rid of Asiasi and Dalton Keene.
That's what I was thinking about.
They were there too. As Asiasi's with the Bengals, I feel like they cut Dalton Keene as well. They've always had this weird flirtation with Steven Anderson. He was like a Chargers tight end at one point. He popped in up and around. He's been in and about, but I don't know if he's still there. I'm purely guessing that it's a very deep guess, but that would be my guess.
The only other player, they might have to sign somebody else if none of these guys can play. The only other guy that they have on that's taken snaps at tight end, and he's only had 8, is let's see, what's his name? Matt Sokol.
Right.
So yeah, so he might be on the practice squad. I don't know. So it could get interesting for the tight end position with the Patriots.
It's the Isle of Misfits, right? The Patriots tight end since Gronk left. What the hell have they done to Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith? I remember last year saying, hey, that's great to like pair them up with Mac Jones. They've killed them both. Hunter Henry was okay and serviceable last year. When he plays against positive matchups towards tight ends, he'll pop off for like 45 and a touchdown, 50 and a touchdown. But it'll be like off 2 receptions, right? They've absolutely destroyed both of them this year. It's mind-boggling. It's the Joe Judge effect. I understand, but it's been maddening to watch like those two just drift into obscurity. And
you have a defensive coordinator calling offensive plays, and not a really good.
It was just I said this a week or two ago. Steve Wilks comes out. He says they look like Steve Wilks comes like they look like a defense coordinator's calling the offensive plays. Like he said that in a press conference. I was like, it's horrible, but he's right. That looked terrible. That looked horrible. Good.
So sideways, the guy in the Chargers owns the French Bulldog that won the Westminster Kennel Dog Show. They're showing him now.
Talk about the rich getting richer, huh?
Do they get paid? They get money for that?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think so. I think the dog gets he gets treats and stuff like that. So
like pampered and stuff.
That going for him. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's a cute little dog, and it's the first French Bulldog to win the Westminster Show.
For the love of the game.
Yeah, exactly. Why else would you do it?
You gotta.
I'm looking on
Captain joking, loving the stream. Do we think that Eckler can get 23 points? Well, yes. Gladys, you remember when we played last year and you were beating me by like 40, and then Eckler had 40 something points on Monday night, so it could absolutely happen.
Whatever. Why did we bring that up? I thought we were talking about
could Eckler get 23 points? I think he absolutely could. So
I do have Eckler, so I hope he does. Yeah, I think he can. And although, is the Colts are better against the run, or the Colts are worse against the run than they are against pass. So Eckler's your man. Eckler's your man.
Eckler is the man. So I have a question for you guys. Do you have, since it's the day after Christmas, hopefully everybody was off today for Christmas observed, for those of you that celebrate, and even if you don't, I hope you had the day off. Do you guys have a favorite Christmas food, drink, or tradition with your family, your houses?
I don't really celebrate Christmas, so
okay.
My favorite tradition.
Okay, so we're off to a great start here.
No.
We'll change Christmas to holiday tradition.
I celebrated Christmas in Australia quite differently, but for those who aren't aware, it's on the other side of the world. It's also the middle of summer.
It's in summer, right?
So our Christmases were very much different. It would be a barbecue by the pool. It's like similar to what you would do for
barbecue.
Yeah, Barbie. Yeah, around July 4th. It'd be. I've just given Doc another one. Shit.
Yes, you did.
So, ours would be by the pool, like Santa's wearing Speedos. Like it's really
nice. That's fantastic.
It's very Australian. It's very normal for us. So it'd be weird. You'd be grilling, getting hammered, and just being up all night, just swimming and.
That sounds like fun. I think you just added to my bucket list because I always wanted to go to Australia. So now I think I got to go to Australia for an Australian Christmas.
I mean, look, if you're there,
bathing suits, sitting by the pool, shrimp on the barbie, drinking beer. I think that sounds like a good time.
To be fair, same time of year, our New Year's is probably as good, if not better, than anywhere else in the world, especially on the Sydney Harbour. It's sensational. So you double down from Christmas into New Year's, it's ridiculous. So like if you're going to go, do the double, like get there for that. It's unbelievable. But New Year's is awesome. It's just different because like that's also like Christmas time, New Year's. That's obviously when school holidays for us is like for that 8-week break, like how you guys have it out in the middle of the year. For us, it's then. So kids are off. Parents are off. It goes off like that, to be honest. But no, so for us, like Christmas back home it's just weird. It's just completely different. It's just you'll see someone walk around there sunburnt wearing like a Santa hat. It's like what happened? But we know because that's just how it is. So
I love it.
Yeah, it's different.
Different. I like different a lot. Jackie and I actually are you the one, Duck? Are you the one that told me to watch The White Lotus? No.
Okay. Although I have heard it was good. You like it?
Binged season 1, season 2 in 2 days. It's only 6 episodes. Yes, you should need to watch it.
I gotta try it.
It's good. Season 2 has lots of sex. Like season 2 is like everyone's just having sex, but season 1 isn't as much sex, but there's always a death, and that's the best part. At the beginning, there's someone dies, and you have to figure out who it is, which one of the guests or.
I just watched a really shit series. It was garbage. It was $18.99. It was just trash.
Oh, is that like the prequel to that Kevin Costner thing? Yeah. Why did you think that was good?
Prequel to what?
I want to say Westworld, but it's not. It's shit. Kevin Costner and I don't know.
I don't know. It was about German ships that went missing. It was it was super weird and down for like suspense and weird, but like.
And you guys are into I'm learning so much about you guys. You guys
listen, you guys should know very much. You guys know very much that I don't watch a lot of anything.
Yellowstone. Thank you.
It's got nothing to do with that. No. I know what Yellowstone is. That's the cowboy guy thing, right? He's on a ranch. I've seen half an episode.
Yeah, I don't watch Kevin Costner.
Yeah, it's just super weird. But it was one of those things. It was like, I have to watch something. I don't know names. I half follow along. I don't care. But like, this was like one of those things that started off all right. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. And then I was like, oh no, this is some.
Why is this happening?
I was like, hey, there's some shit. Like, and now I have to finish it. I got to finish it just to say, okay, now I know. Just in case someone pulls it up in conversation, I got to say, yeah, I finished it. But I really wish I didn't.
Yeah, I watched Willy Wonka, the first one, Gene Wilder, Willy Wonka,
it's classic.
And the chocolate. Oh my God,
what'd you think?
Awesome. He is so awesome in that. His one-liners.
The snozberries taste like snozberries.
That movie is a true classic.
It is a true classic. It doesn't age.
He's a savage. He's a savage.
She was a bad egg.
He's a savage, Gene Wilder.
All questions must be put in writing from here forth. I'm like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. We were on. So let me get your guys' opinion on this. We did the holiday special, the 3rd annual Going for Two holiday special, and I actually was on the show and I had to leave because I had to work. But it was a great time. We actually pre-recorded the first hour, which is about 100 out of 100 on the unintentional comedy scale. Shout out Bill Simmons. But it's pretty great. If you want unintentional comedy entertainment, you can go check it out. There's a link to it on the Discord. But the Big Pulowski, Zach was on there, and we first had the discussion of whether or not Die Hard was a Christmas movie. So we're not going to get into that because it clearly is.
It is.
But
it clearly is.
Zach let us know. And Zach's like, I don't know, 24, 25. He's like, he never saw Die Hard, any of them. So,
I
but
haven't.
especially not the
Neither I haven't seen them either.
All right. Well,
Oh my
whatever.
God.
And
Whatever.
he never saw National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. So
I haven't
Cousin
seen-
Eddie, like shitter was
I haven't-
full. Like he never saw that. He's like, I have no
I
idea
haven't-
what you guys are talking about.
I haven't seen it either.
B-League, what are you
Okay.
doing? You're watching these random TV shows that you don't even remember, and you're missing out on the true classics of American cinema of the last 30 years. Like seriously, get your life together.
Okay, you have to watch Die Hard, the first Die Hard, because the
Come
first
on.
Die Hard is
Just-
actually epically good.
Come on,
Die
come
Hard
on,
2
B-League.
sucks.
I know you're
But-
Australian.
and
How many? Here's a question: how many times has B-League seen Crocodile Dundee? 1, 2,
Never.
and 3.
Never.
One,
Well,
two,
get on
and
that
three.
too.
Never
Because,
seen
I
it.
mean, that's your heritage right there.
I've never seen it.
And you
It's
need
just-
to watch the first
To
one.
put-
Only the first one. Like
No,
the
Put you guys on the map. What are you talking about? Paul Hogan put you guys on the map.
Yeah.
Respect your base, son.
Yeah. No, you know what it is? The Dundee thing. It's like, to us, it's borderline insulting. It's because it's like,
As it should be. That's
It's-
not a
and
knock.
I
that's-
think it was
and
supposed to.
No,
Wasn't
that's
it?
a knock.
and that's
I mean, come
why
on.
like I can't bring myself to watching it. But like the diehards, I think I'll tell you what, I think I was, I'm 38. I was probably too young when they came out, and then I never really cared after that. It's one of those things. I will say this: I know the argument. I don't think it's a Christmas conversation if it doesn't happen at Christmas time. That's
Okay,
like-
first of all,
that's-
you
hang
can't
on,
make
wait,
the argument if you
wait.
have
Haven't even
never
seen the
seen the movie.
Wait, I understand the thesis because I've seen the arguments across the board from everyone. But that's like saying I saw the argument today that it's the same thing. It's like saying Lord of the Rings is a Christmas movie because there's elves in it, right? And I heard that and I went,
That is
Those
Oh,
kind of
well,
elves, not the North Pole elves.
huge stretch.
elves-
Come
man.
on, that's a
elves are-
huge stretch.
elves
Although
are
I did
elves.
watch Lord of the Rings.
Elves
yesterday,
are not elves. That's
Elves are
discriminatory, prejudicial, and
Exactly.
inflammatory. And I
I
think
also,
Come
to
on.
be
I
honest,
can't wait until all the elves at you in the chat.
I also gave up on Lord of the Rings after about an hour because all I did was nothing but walk, and I was like, "This is some
Oh,
shit."
God.
I don't
Oh my
wanna do this.
God.
You know
The
what?
Lord of the Rings, the first one was on. The trilogy was on yesterday.
I'm
so I
glad
watched the
Kyle
first
isn't
one.
here. I'm glad
I know.
Kyle's in here to have heard you say that.
I
'Cause-
can't. There's just so much nothing going on. It's like, fuck, I don't
Okay.
want to do this. I'm good.
But Aragon is like the hottest creature on Earth,
I don't know what
on
that is.
Middle Earth. It's the guy that plays King Aragon, the guy that plays Strider at the beginning,
I
the
couldn't
one
tell
that
you.
saves the. What are they?
That's how far behind I am. I don't know what that is.
And
That's the thing. Like the Lampoon thing, I'll tell you what. Like the whole '80s American cinema thing, it's not for me. But I will watch the shit out of the Three Amigos.
oh my God.
Well, you know
I will
what?
watch the
I can't
shit.
fault you for that one. So at least you redeemed
my-
yourself slightly with that one.
No, not really. Not really.
Amazing. It's
And
amazing.
Die Hard
What-
does happen at Christmas, and it's a Christmas party.
It
Thank
is a
you,
Christmas
Terry.
party.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah. That's my sister, by the way. TV
Oh, hey,
In
hey,
Flo-
T.
in Florida. Terry Tyler Vasquez. Something else.
Orlando Bloom's Alpha
Yeah.
Sexy. I like this the last couple of weeks. We've been seeing Gladys let her thirst loose. First it was for Jalen Hurts, and now it's for King Aragon. So
Have
She's
have
on a
you
Jared.
not-
She was on a Jared Goff run there for like 2020.
oh yeah, that's right. I
2022.
remember you called Jared Goff. I think you called him a dreamboat or something. That was pretty
Jared
good.
Goff?
That was like last year. I remember that.
It had to be last year.
He
Did you
looks
move
like
on? You moved on from Jared Goff. Now
Yeah,
that he's
just
good at
what-
football, he's not sexy anymore.
He's not sexy
He
anymore.
looks like. He
And-
looks like.
Sorry,
he
Jared,
look-
if you're watching.
he
You had the
looks
title
like-
for a while. Now you lost it
You
to
lost
Jalen
it.
Hurts.
Jalen Hurts.
Jared Goff looks like if he would be Jay Cutler if he wasn't dropped on his head as a baby.
Okay,
That's what
I'm
he
gonna
looks like
just
to
disregard everything you said from henceforth on. Okay, anytime you talk, I'm just gonna pretend like they're just like words
No,
coming out of your
seriously,
mouth
I'm
that
trying
don't
to
mean
think-
anything.
I haven't seen.
Anytime, let's
That's the best
compare
measure.
Jay Cutler to Jared Goff is absolutely a lunatic.
Well,
And I
it's
was
close.
gonna excuse it because you're Australian, but I can't even do that.
I'm in the ballpark. I'm in the ballpark.
You're not even on the same continent. You're not even in the ballpark.
I'm trying to think of what I haven't seen Titanic. That's
Oh
too
my
long.
God.
I can't do that.
Dude, I know you got kids and everything, but like,
Can't
what
do
are
that.
what are you doing with your life, man? Get your life together.
Come on.
I was just in another country living my life. That's what I'm doing. I'm not watching movies.
They have movies there.
Get it, but I mean,
I
you know,
don't
now
want
you're
to
back.
watch that
So,
either.
you know, why don't you reintegrate into the rest of the society and
trying to
like,
think.
you know, get on some pop culture here.
I tried to watch Glass Onion last night.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, what the hell is glass window?
Exactly.
Why are you making shows up, Dan? Like, stop making shows up and start watching things that people actually care about.
No. It's the sequel to Knives Out. It's Knives Out, Glass Onion.
Wait, the sequel to Knives Out is out?
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Okay, I did see.
I don't have Netflix.
No, it came out. It came out this weekend. The sequel.
Terry, text me your Netflix password because I don't have Netflix and I need to see Knives Out.
Yeah, it's okay.
I need to see the sequel.
For all the FCC people out there, that didn't just happen. But
listen, I was a little jet lagged and I didn't get through it, but I'm sure I would if I
did you see Knives Out?
The first one, yeah, it was great.
Yeah,
I did. That was good.
Daniel
I like that
Craig with a southern accent. Come on.
I'll tell you what, it's like that sort of stuff is awesome. Like I'll tell you what, old movie was awesome. The original Clue. That's funny as hell.
Yeah, now you're talking. Now you're
you
talking.
see what I mean? Like that's
all right. So Dan's not completely hopeless, but
I only watched
Zach was pretty hopeless. He's like, I haven't seen any of these movies, and we were like, dude, what are you doing? Like,
I know. What are you doing with your life?
Yeah, I think he's just.
I just watched
talk to Dan in his native language. If I knew what his native language, apparently his native language is stuff on TV that nobody else watches.
Exactly.
That's his love language.
I get halfway through
Dan's love language. It's not acts of service. It's not words of affirmation. It's not physical touch. It's TV shows that nobody else has ever friggin' heard of. That's Dan's love language. So there you go. Now I know.
I think it's that far fetched. I watched shit, what's it called?
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, what was it called? Oh shit!
So good.
Wednesday, the Addams Family thing. I watched that. I was like, let's see how they write that. That was well written. I thought that was pretty cool.
That's Americana.
Yeah, I like things that are well written. Things are good. It was well written. How everything was put together in pieces that way. It was kind of cool.
Okay. I love Wednesday. She's like one of my favorite cinematic characters of all.
Very well written. It's just one of those things. I don't know how many more teenage goth girl TV shows I'm going to go chasing. It was an Addams Family thing,
which is a little problematic. That was on your top favorite, but it's okay. At least you're watching something kind of sort of relevant.
I got a type. It's just one of them things.
Teenage goth girl movies. Yeah, you did watch The Peripheral, which
I didn't finish it though. What happened?
I don't know. I stopped watching once it got gory. I don't watch gory things. I can't.
I gave it a few episodes I couldn't get through, and that was it. I bounced.
Dan.
What are you going to do?
Dan.
We'll keep working on them, folks. We'll keep working on them. We'll get them on track.
We will get them on track.
Go, Gladys.
Listen, I'll give you guys something.
Where do we go? Where do we go from here?
I challenge you guys. I challenge you guys.
We got to run through the.
No, wait. I challenge you all to watch Chopper.
Chopper?
Like American Chopper?
No, just
like
Chopper.
Cuddles.
What is it?
In motorcycles.
Eric Bana. Just a movie called Chopper.
Oh, I do like Eric Bana.
Chopper.
I do like Eric Bana.
Then you'll find it and you will enjoy it.
Can I watch it without sound? I need Eric Bana's like. I can watch. I like.
Gladys is like at any point during the movie does Eric Bana take his shirt off?
Well, to be fair, he's playing his role. It's based on a real life character. He was one of Australia's most dangerous criminals.
Ooh, and edgy Gladys. You like the Bad Boys?
I do like the Bad Boys.
First 5 minutes, he gets stabbed to a bludgeon and he chops his own ear off.
Okay, then no, I'm out. I just told you I don't watch gory shows. You ruined it.
Chopper.
All right.
Also became Australia's #1 children's bookseller. So criminal and
he truly is an Australian Renaissance man.
We're an eclectic bunch.
Yeah, you are. Okay, Doc's gonna do his.
All right, so let's do the rapid fire. Then we can get into the Monday night game. We can find out what everybody needs, what everybody's looking for, and we can talk about the game. We can give the standings for the bets too. That's.
I don't know if we can because I don't have that. Unless
I do. I have it.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
I was a Boy Scout. I'm prepared.
Yeah, okay. And you're in first place. So.
Let's. I mean, that's minor detail. Let's start at the top. Jalen Hurts, shoulder injury. So he had that injury to the shoulder, which I think it turned out to be the sternoclavicular joint as opposed to the acromioclavicular joint. So more towards the middle of the chest as opposed to out on the shoulder. But he didn't play Week 16. Gardner Minshew played well. 24 completions, 355, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I think he ran for a touchdown too. But the loss to the Cowboys may force the issue here. So we may see Jalen Hurts back week 17. They want to lock up this number 1 seed if they can. So just watch your practice reports here. I still kind of have Jalen Hurts at the 50-50 to play this week, but it's looking a lot more possible for week 17 than it would have been if they had won the game and locked everything up. So I think if he's playing, you got to play him. Jalen Hurts, that is. Otherwise, we'll see. Ryan Tannehill, high ankle sprain, had tightrope surgery, so he's out for the remainder of the regular season. They were talking about maybe he's back week 18. I don't think that's going to happen. He might be done for the rest of the year. So for anybody that cares about that, I think it's going to be Malik Willis time. So also, this is something that we can talk about a little bit. So whoever wins the Tennessee-Jacksonville game in week 18 wins the division, goes to the playoffs. So the question is, for week 17 against the Cowboys with the Titans, the game doesn't really matter. Do they sit or at least partially rest their skill players to keep them fresh for week 18? What do you guys think about that?
He's already said he would.
Well, that's going to be a problem for Derrick Henry, who showed up on the injury list anyway with a hip injury, and he was a DNP practice estimate on Monday. So again, the Titans need to win week 18 to win the division, regardless of what happens week 17 against the Cowboys. So Hassan Haskins could get the start there. So if he's kind of floating out there on waivers and everybody else has kind of forgotten about him, he might be a priority pickup this week because he might actually get the start. Colt McCoy, we talked about. Oh yeah, what's up?
Didn't Ryan Tannehill say that, or hasn't Ryan Tannehill said that he could possibly be back week 18?
He said that a couple of weeks ago, but I don't know how realistic that is. Okay. I mean, he had tightrope surgery it was like 10 days ago, which is the same surgery that Cooper Kupp had like week 10, and we haven't seen him since. So it's going to be really tough for him to get back for this. Not saying there's a 0% chance, but I'm really, really pessimistic that we see him again this year, unless they make the Super Bowl or something. Then maybe we could think about it. Colt McCoy with his concussion, we missed week 16, so no guarantees that he's back for week 17, but I am hopeful that he'll play against the Falcons. Lamar Jackson. So this one has been a tough one. He went down at the worst possible time. He missed weeks 14 through 16, but he is expected to practice this week, so we'll see. Here's the mitigating factor. Tyler Huntley's been bad, but they're 2-1 with him as the starting quarterback, and they locked up a playoff spot this week, so the Ravens can afford to be patient. If Lamar Jackson plays, I ask you guys this, yes or no answer. If Lamar Jackson is playing in week 17 and you have him on your roster, do you start him?
Oh, yeah. If he's available, I don't even think.
Isn't that the game they flexed, the Steelers game, to a Sunday night game?
You would know better than
me. No, I'm not playing him against TJ Watt. If they don't need to play him, if they've already locked up a space, why would you play him?
I don't think he's playing. No. Anyway, I think if he was available to play, he won't. I don't think he plays until the playoffs.
I think since they locked up a playoff spot, I think you're right.
They don't need to. I think they're going to back themselves with Jackson later. I don't think.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's one of those situations if he does play, which I think is unlikely, and you don't have a better option, you're like Trace McSorley or Kenny Pickett, no offense, or whatever. Then maybe you think about it. But if you have Trevor Lawrence, you have even Baker Mayfield. Looked good this week. So stranger things have happened in the NFL.
If you're Lamar Jackson and all this contract talk is coming up, are you really going to come back early to play in a game that has no bearing on your playoff positioning?
Exactly.
It might, depending on who you could play and all that sort of. I understand, but
yeah, but I agree. He gets re-injured and then you're basically cooked.
It's a divisional game, so it's going to be a nasty game. It's a divisional game. So no.
AFC North football, right? It's insane this time of year. The low scores, the heavy hits, it's real. And he's not going to come back with a PCL injury with no receivers chasing around the field from TJ Watt. That's going to happen.
Yeah, I think John Harbaugh might opt to let discretion be the better part of valor there. Yeah. Speaking of discretion being the better part of valor, Zach Wilson got benched again, and Chris Streveler of CFL fame. So I know Kyle's excited about that.
Kyle's lovely. Loves it.
He was happy about that. I was like, oh, I know this guy. So he actually came in and looked better than Zach Wilson did. So the good news for the Jets is Mike White got cleared from his rib fractures. He's cleared to start week 17. So barring a setback this week, he's going to be the starter. Joe Flacco is going to back him up. Chris Streveler is going to be the number 3, and Zach Wilson is going to be I don't know, updating his Tinder profile on the sidelines. I don't know what, but he's going to be healthy and active. So there is an increased risk of re-injury at Seattle for Mike White, but he's going to be an option too. Finishing out the quarterbacks, Taylor Heineke got benched for Carson Wentz. So he came on in relief and could get the start for week 17. I don't know how they're going to play this one, but I think they're technically still alive for a playoff spot. So we just got to be on the lookout for updates. Yes, B-League.
I love it for Curtis Samuel. I love it.
Was Heineke a healthy bench or did he get hurt?
No, he got hurt.
No, he was a healthy bench. They just were like, they gave him treatment.
He was getting, they had his number. He looked terrible. But it's one of those things where it's like, Wentz, I think Wentz is the better quarterback. It's nice to think that Heineke has done well and he's put them in a good position. I think Carson Wentz would have done the same thing anyway. So I think this is great for those who have. I mean, Jahan Dotson's looked all right the last few weeks, but he looked pretty good with Wentz. And Curtis Samuel looked really good with Carson Wentz at the start of the year. He was a wide receiver too in that period of time. So it's one of those things where I think he's just going to make everyone else come up. I think it's only good for them. It's good for everyone.
Except for McLaurin. But anyway, go ahead.
No, I mean, McLaurin still had 77 and a touchdown, didn't he? Yeah. He still had a decent day. Like,
Gladys isn't happy with that. Like Gladys is like, I need more than that. It's a semifinals. I need more than that.
No, I mean, I don't like the hate for Carson Wentz because I thought what he did last year with the Colts for the first half of the year was good. Like, he was fine. It was decent. But I thought he looked all right at the start of the year with Washington too. I thought he looked all right. It's just
all right. B League, the promo prop pimp king, whatever. So Gator J, let's help him out because last time we didn't let him get the props in time. So he wants to get a prop in. Eckler, Haya Oloa, 5 receptions. What do you think?
He took a nosedive last week when Mike Williams came back, right? So I think it's a good matchup for him to do it. So yeah, why not?
Yeah, I'm with B League. I say Hoya.
Listen, the Colts secondary is pretty good, I think. So it's not that.
Gilmore's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, I think they've got a decent bunch of safeties in there, but they're fine. I don't think it'll be as easy as what they've had against other teams. That's all I'm saying. I think
Okay. On this Moss thing, okay. So earlier today, Moss was at 13.5 higher or lower rushing attempts, and then Underdog took it to 14.5. BetMGM and DraftKings dropped it and went to Deion Jones.
Jackson?
Yeah, went to Jackson as the only rushing attempt prop. So I don't know if, I would say higher.
BetMGM's cutting their losses on Zach Moss.
Yeah,
that's what they've done.
People are cutting their losses on Zach Moss.
But,
so I don't know if that means for Jackson.
Underdogs committed. And
they committed, but they went up a yard. They went
everyone was smashed. Everyone was.
Oh, they went down. Wait, Jay Gator, are you sure it's 12.5 right now? Because it was 14.5 this morning when I checked.
Listen, Underdog, are an incredible partner with going for 2. # phenomenal, right? Promo code GF 200% matching deposit up to $100. Get amongst it. Get on your playoff drafts and all that sort of stuff. Fantastic people to have on board. Can't get enough of Underdog, but they do fluctuate their numbers throughout the week aggressively. You have to check. They will come up as quickly as they come down on the same player bet. Like, they are all over the place. When they see a trend, they nip it in the bud pretty quick. If they see, I think I've said this before with Austin Eckler, and my prop will be about Austin Eckler a little bit later on, but his rushing props, at that point, he was never going over 30 yards. And for some reason, they were giving him 50.5, and it was never happening. So everyone's hammering the unders. All of a sudden, they bring it to 40. People are still hitting the unders. They bring it to 35. Oh, bang! People are starting to go up. Then they bring it back up to 40. They will move with the market quite aggressively. I found other places are a little slower to adapt. They're pretty quick. I'm surprised. But again, someone else like BetMGM or Caesars, they will just cut it straight away. They won't even entertain the idea of being able to lose money in that regard. They won't play with it like that. Everyone's going to hammer Moss over. We're not even going to offer it. They won't.
Well, if I could bet on underdog, which on the pick'ems I can't in Colorado, the 12.5 right now I would take.
Yeah, sure.
Because Jackson is the more efficient running back, but Saturday's been giving Moss I think it was 63-20 snap counts. So I would go 12.5. Yeah, because they're going to have to run the. Well,
he wants the big boy to pound it, right? He wants the big boy to pound the rock.
They're going to try. They're definitely going to try. So
yeah. Foles isn't the most mobile of people either, so I get it.
And Foles likes to dump off, so tight ends and running backs are in play, right?
Was it who was Sproles in Philly? Like Sproles, and when they had their Super Bowl run, it was Clement. What's his name?
Corey Clement.
Corey Clement and Darren Sproles, like those sorts of guys at the Super Bowl, like they were everywhere with Foles. Like, so Foles is a smart enough guy to know who to. Yeah, he's smart.
All right, we'll get put a pin in that. We'll get there. Let's finish out the injuries for everybody that's still here. So Aaron Jones injured in the second half for the Packers, ankle injury, managed to finish the game. So suggesting a high ankle injury is less likely. Just got to watch practice reports leading up to Week 17 versus the Vikings. DJ Dallas with his high ankle sprain. He actually surprised and returned for Week 16 and reclaimed the backup role behind Ken Walker. So he got 8 touches, but the interesting part was 6 catches for 32 yards. So he could potentially be, in case of emergency, break glass option versus the Jets for those who are truly desperate at running back. But it's the finals. Desperate times call for desperate measures. So stranger things have happened. Travis Homer had an ankle injury. So ankle sprain, severity unclear. Doesn't really appear like he's going to be a factor in Week 17 as long as Ken Walker and DJ Dallas are playing. DeAndre Swift, the saga continues, down to 5 touches in Week 16. This was a killer, an absolute killer for a lot of people. So 4 rushes for 12 yards and 1 catch for 13 yards. That is not going to get it done. I don't know if you can trust him Week 17 versus the Bears. The only good thing, for DeAndre Swift owners is Jamal Williams hurt his leg in the third quarter and did not return. So the Lions were down 18 at that point. So is it a question of game script or is there more to the story? So we just got to watch practice reports, be on the lookout for updates. So Justin Jackson could emerge as an emergency option for some teams going into Week 17. And he has flashed in the past when he's gotten the opportunities for a game or two. Chase Edmonds in Denver returned from his ankle injury. A little bit of good news after they got absolutely throttled by the resurgent Rams with Baker Mayfield at quarterback. So now he muddies the waters there. He got 8 touches. Latavius Murray got 8 carries. Marlon Mack got 2 rushes. That game was a complete disaster. This whole backfield seems like a Russian roulette backfield at this point. I think only the truly desperate can consider any of these guys against the Chiefs. Damian Harris missed weeks 13 through 16 so far with his thigh injury, so he's a big question mark for Week 17. Even if he does play, can you trust him? I don't know. The Pats are still alive at 7-8, even though Ramondre Stevenson let a lot of people down this week. So hopefully there's room for more as the Pats continue to fight for a playoff spot. Wide receiver Tyler Lockett is still coming back from his broken finger. Some estimates had him coming back Week 17. I still think that's really optimistic, but you're telling me there's a chance. So it is possible, albeit unlikely. Marquise Goodwin would have been the number 2 alongside DK Metcalf. Unfortunately, he re-aggravated his wrist injury coming into Week 16. So ended up with 4 targets, and a big fat goose egg, 0 catches, and leaving the game with his re-aggravation of his wrist injury. So he's going to be tough to trust in Week 17. Shout out Zach Pulowski. Everybody out there, find somebody who loves you the way Zach Pulowski loves Christian Watson. However, he left the game with a hip injury, was ruled out for the second half, and they're calling him day-to-day at this point, which we know doesn't mean anything. So big question marks here. Got to watch practice reports, be on the lookout for updates. I think if he's out there, you got to play him, but there is a possibility that he could miss, although the Packers are still alive and somewhat resurgent, for the last couple of weeks. So, he could still have some life left. Deebo Samuel missed weeks 15 and 16 with his ankle injury and his knee injury. He could practice this week, so we just have to see. We can't really take him seriously for playing until we see him get back on the practice field. I still think he's got a high probability of being out, especially with the 49ers playing as well as they are, but we'll see. Tyler Boyd with his finger injury, he dislocated the finger in Week 14, came back and played well in Week 15, and then re-injured it again in Week 16. So watch the practice reports on this, but he's going to be tough to trust week 17 no matter what. Cortland Sutton returned from his hamstring injury in week 16, and he was a little bit of a bright spot for the otherwise moribund Denver franchise. They fired their coach. They're stuck with Russell Wilson into the second coming, and they've given up about 27 draft picks and hundreds of millions of dollars. But other than that, things are fine.
Looking good.
What's that?
They're looking good.
Yeah, things are looking good. So 51-14 loss to the Rams, but Cortland Sutton, 7 targets, 5 catches, 64 yards. That's not nothing. Just be on the lookout for updates on that. But Denver, oof, man, it's looking ugly there. Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry, we talked about. With Hunter Henry, the severity of his knee injury, unclear. Jonnu Smith was concussion. We know the deal. He's in the protocol. He's probably out this week. We don't know who the Patriots are going to start at tight end. If Hunter Henry misses, they might have to sign somebody off somebody else's practice squad, so we'll see. Hayden Hurst missed weeks 14 through 16, didn't practice at all. Let's see if he's able to practice leading up to week 17 before we even think about getting him back out there. And Dallas Goedert returned from his shoulder injury after missing about a month, was activated and looked decent, if not spectacular, with Gardner Minshew at quarterback. And scene.
Favorite part. My favorite part. All right, Gator J, who's apparently got Christmas money to throw around.
Yeah.
Guys, way to go, Gator J.
Incredible generosity by our sponsors. Underdog. Once again, promo code GF2, 100% matching deposit up to $100. No worries. Thanks for coming.
Oh, I got the live read. I'm going to do the live read for Underdog. It's going to be my first live read when we get through.
And I can't wait. Paris Campbell, over under 3.5 receptions. Alec Pierce, over under 3.5, 3 receptions. Williams, 4 receptions. Mike Williams, 4 receptions. Mike Williams, 6 receptions. All right. Paris Campbell, I think I like Paris Campbell more than Pierce because he's slot. He's going to be closer to his dump off place. And
he's
Williams
closer to BDN.
Yeah, exactly. And Williams, I would always take the lower number if I'm going over 4 receptions.
Why Williams at 4 receptions and 6 receptions? What's up with that?
Yeah, Gator, what's up with that? I don't know. Well, are you asking me or are you asking Gator?
Gator.
Oh, it was Keenan Allen at 6.
Keenan Allen is at 6. Yes, Keenan Allen 6. Yes, Gator. But I need Keenan Allen to have 6. I need Keenan Allen to have, a baseline of 30 fantasy points, 25. So that is like a personal testament, Gator. So don't run with that. What do you guys think?
I kind of like the overs on all of these. So I say
on all of them, Pierce too.
All of them, just throw them all in there. I don't know. I got a feeling that Nick Foles is underrated as far as the guy won a Super Bowl against the Patriots. No big deal. But I think they're going to get behind in this game, and I think they're going to have to throw. I think they're going to, Saturday wants to run, but I think at some point it's going to be too much to bear, and they're going to have to start throwing the ball. And the Chargers defense is not great, but Nick Foles can get it done. Like he's a gamer, so I think the passing stats are going to be better than people might think. And Keenan Allen's a beast, and Mike Williams, he's spoiler alert, he's my player prop for this week. I think he's going to have a monster game. So
I'm looking at this now. I didn't have to look very hard to know what I was taking, but like Josh Palmer's had 22 targets in the last 3 games, and he's got 3 receptions to his name. Like,
is that good?
They're asking for him to get over 3. So for me, for a guy that's had 22 targets, like 8 targets on about 7 targets over the last 3 games.
Wait, why are you talking about Palmer? He's not even.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Like we're talking about Williams.
He's like, I'm just saying. If you want to throw a 5th one in there, Gator.
I know. Yeah, Gator.
You guys know how I feel about chasing. You guys know how I feel about chasing the higher number.
I'm going to go dog on everyone but Pierce. I don't think Pierce is going to go higher, but I think all the other ones will. What are you saying, B? What are you saying, Swiss Miss?
Oh no, sorry. I'm just saying, like, how I feel about chasing the higher number. So if Allen's at 6, Williams is at 4, Palmer's at 3, I'd feel better. If the target share between Williams and Palmer is the same, then I'll take the lower number. Like that's just how it makes more sense that way. Why am I trying to find?
That's why he's got his own show, folks. Friday nights going for 2 Network. What time? Tell the folks what time the prop show is.
8:30. It's on at
8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Friday nights, great show. Check it out. Friday nights. I'm going for 2.
I'm going through the playoffs, so that'll be
B-Leagues Pick'ems.
Okay, both kickers are set at 1.5 field goals. Over or under?
Hoya.
I need Indy. See, I'm not the person to ask because I'm going to go strictly by what I need, and I need.
There you go.
To go under.
I would have nothing less. That's what I expect.
I need Indy's to go under.
McLaughlin, I feel better at going over because I don't think they'll penetrate as much as what the Chargers will. The Chargers, the threat would be they score. You know what I mean? Like the PATs would be more.
If you like McLaughlin, I mean, Cameron Dicker has been great too.
Dicker the kicker.
I like them both. Yeah.
Dicker the kicker. All right. I need to hear in my life Doc's promo read.
All right. So we got our Monday night game. We have LA Chargers at Indianapolis. So today's show with our prop bets brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Not only do they offer best ball leagues, but they have pick'em contests in which you can win up to 20 times your money. No head-to-head, no lineups are set. Simply pick higher or lower on 5-player props for a chance to win. Download the Underdog Fantasy app on iOS or Android and use our promo code. What is it, Dan? GF2 to get a deposit match up to $100. They have player props to the NFL, NBA, NHL, and more. Again, the promo code is GF2. Get the app, use the code, win money. It's that easy.
It is that easy, unless you live in Colorado.
Unless you live in Colorado.
You can't do pick'ems.
Prohibited.
And you know what? You can take all this money you're going to win and then pump it into off-season best ball. That's right. You can just compound it.
Right.
And you can start pushing it into the puppy.
The Dalmatian.
The puppy.
The big dog.
That's it. You can start pumping it into that instead. Yes. So make your money now and then just start using that promo code and just start throwing it out there. Matching deposit. Get amongst it.
Or California, apparently. Hi, Mr. Scampers. I haven't seen Mr. Scampers in a while.
Yeah, well, Mr. Scampers is back. Good to see you.
Good to see you. All right. So, and I'm going back. We have the Chargers at Indianapolis, 45.5 is the over-under. Chargers are only favored by 4, which I don't even understand. So I'm going to do Kyle's. Kyle did the rivals. So he picked Austin Eckler plus 4.5 receiving yards versus Alec Pierce.
Oh, he's not liking Pierce either.
No, it's not about Eckler's receiving numbers are quite low.
Pierce hurt me. I'm not going to lie. Pierce hurt me last week, and he was in a smash spot. I played him, and he didn't even have a point. So I'm off Pierce right now, and I lost.
You get in Gladys's. You get out of Gladys's good graces. It's really tough to get back.
It's really tough to get back.
Pierce,
Alec.
Sorry, man. You had your chance, and you blew it.
You did, and it was a smash spot. And he wants. He's picking the Chargers, but lower. He's the only one that went lower. We all picked the Chargers, but he's the only one that went lower.
He had zero faith in the Colts, I believe.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm thinking the Chargers can get 45 points on their own, so that's what I was going with.
So we're all going Chargers -4.
4. And
we're all going higher. Everybody here is going higher, except for Kyle, who's going lower.
Lower.
So he's going with Austin Eckler plus 4.5 receiving yards versus Alec Pierce. So B League, who's your prop?
So we've already seen Eckler's numbers have come up since this morning. So I took him at 33.5. Austin Eckler receiving yards higher than 33.5. I feel like that's a lock. He had a down week last week. It happens, but he's normally up around that 40 to 50 receiving yards a game as it is. I feel like this is a good matchup for him to exploit that as well. And that would be why he's taken the rival over Alec Pierce, because if Pierce does nothing, then Eckler, you don't have to worry about 33.5. Even if Eckler goes for 20 and Pierce does nothing, he's still clearing him by 4.5. So it's a smart bet by Kyle in that regard, because he's, the idea that Pierce is going to come in and do something with Nick Foles, and he hadn't with really Matt Ryan, give or take, or Sam Ellinger. Like, it's just one of those things where he's looking at, well, if Pierce continually does nothing and Eckler does what he normally does, 4.5, he should beat him by 30. So it's a very smart bet by Kyle in that regard. I took Eckler for that reason as well. I don't see how he isn't going to be used in the passing game. It's something that he has been doing other than last week. It's really the first time that we've seen last week where he didn't really, it was Tennessee really stifled him. It was one of those things. He only had 12 receiving yards, but it was the first time, I can't remember when he had over 50 rushing. It was the complete opposite that we thought Austin Eckler was going to do. So, in terms of receptions, he's going to get you 5, 6, 7 a week in terms of receiving yards. He's good for over 50 and 33. I feel like is a drop in the number because Mike Williams did come back. I understand that. But it was also an anomaly week for the Chargers against the Titans in an incredibly low-scoring game when they had it. And as bettors, we get the benefit of them saying, oh, no, but they're only looking at the box score and not actually the picture as it has. So I kind of like him at 33.5. At 35.5, it's come up since 10 o'clock this morning when we went over it. So an extra two yards, like whatever, I don't care. You'll go for 40, 45 and run it to the bank. So I'm
nice.
all right with that.
Not going to do enough to help me against Brad Harvin. Get into the finals, but I think he's going to have a good game too. Gladys, what about you? Who's your prop bet?
Gators taking Indy for some unknown reason.
Maybe he thinks they can keep up with Foles, and that's
well. It looks like you like BDN for the prop, so I guess Gator likes BDN tonight too.
And Mr. Scamper says Herbert under 202. Ooh,
interesting.
I strongly disagree with that, Mr. Scampers. My prop is Foles higher than 33.5 passing attempts, and Chargers higher. Chargers with points higher.
So you think that they're just going to the Indy's going to get behind, and Nick Foley and Dynamite's just going to have to throw to try to keep him in it?
Well, yeah, that and the fact that Ryan was averaging like 31. They were averaging like 31 with Ryan. So yeah. Foles is going to have to pass to keep up in the game, and that includes dump-offs passes. So, yeah, 33.5 I think is an easy bet on that one. Right. What about you, Doc?
Well, so this one is a little bit of trying to conjure some Christmas magic here. So I am in another league where I'm facing Big Mike Williams and the Chargers defense, and I'm up. We're up by like 32 or 33. So this has all the makings for Mike Williams to drop a 40 burger on me tonight. So I think that's exactly what's going to happen. And so my prop bet is going to back that up. And I saw Mike Williams on Underdog, 11.55 fantasy points. So I'm going higher than that. I think he's going to have 11.5 fantasy points by the time the coin hits the ground on the coin flip on his way to 50 and knocking me out of the semifinals in my other league. So with that in mind, I think Mike Williams is going to have one of his boom games and unceremoniously send me packing in my semifinal matchup. So that's where I'm at with that. And whatever happens, it's going to be a monster score in that league as far as whoever gets eliminated. Where we got like 187 and we're in the clubhouse, and the other team's got like 150. So somebody's going to score, have a high score and end up going home. So that sucks. But Dave and Austin, good luck. And hopefully if you beat us, you do well in the finals.
That's the second time you've taken fantasy points for, though, right?
How
did it go the other time? I can't remember.
I had Mac Jones, and it did not go. It went about as well as Mac Jones did against Chandler Jones.
Which was epic.
Epic. All right, so let's give the standings. I have the standings in front of me.
Let's do that.
So shout out to Gladys, who got back to 500, who is now for the season 22-22-4. So congratulations there. Kyle is in third place right now, currently at 24-21-3. The B League had a really nice week last week, so credit to you for going 3-0 with Baker Mayfield prop, Green Bay -6.5, and the Loa. So B League is up to 25-19-4, which is pretty good for second place. Considering you have your own prop show, you got to give you a lot of credit there. And
right on my prop show, man.
Doing just marginally better is yours truly at 30-15-3 for the year. So what do they say about a stop clock being right?
What's your charity that we're donating to?
You guys are donating to the charity of Doc Ferretti, right?
No.
No, I don't know. We still have that's yet to be determined, but we have to figure that part out.
All right. So yeah, the bet was the winner gets to choose a charity, and we donate to it. So it looks like Doc.
It's getting close to the witching hour here. We only got 2 weeks left, but you never want to count out anybody here. You know, I could certainly, it would not be outside the realm of possibility for me to go 0 for the next 6 and leave the door wide open for somebody to kick open. So stranger things have happened.
I've been doing a prop show every week for the past year, and let me tell you something. Just when you think you've got all the questions, when you got, what do I say? Just when you think you got all the answers, someone else
changes the questions.
I've been getting some of them. I'm like, I'm dead certain about this, and then nah.
Alec Pierce last week should have been in.
Yeah, exactly. Like everybody had Cam Akers scoring 3 touchdowns this week, and the Rams winning 51-14 against Denver.
Thank you, Denver defense.
Smashed every week.
Oh my God.
Okay. I'm flying. I'm like, I can't believe this. I'm untouchable this week, and then you go bang, 0 for 6 at the end of the week. You're like,
that's like the kiss of death. I'm untouchable this week.
I'm never untouchable.
I pick
13.
I give 13 bets, and like 7 will clear, like 7 from 7. I'm like, it's happening. Like walking around and like throwing the chain around the city, no worries. And then like nothing, and you're like,
is that chain new? That's new, right? Or do you wear it under your shirt usually?
It's under the shirt.
Oh, it's nice. It's very sparkly.
I am a sparkly. Well, I do have the chemicals to make them shine. I know a place where you can get jewelry tools and chemicals. Don't ask why or how.
Okay.
That's
what was my bet basis? Oh, Mr. Scampers, his bet basis for under was the average. Yeah, but they never played.
Just to touch on something before, sorry. Herbert under 282.5. The guy's been over 300, 300. His pass attempts might be something different to go against today. I think yards, I don't ever want to bet against him on yards because he's just starting to find a bit. Even last week, no touchdowns.
All those guys are back.
Yeah,
I guess it depends on. Do you think this game's going to be close? Do you think it's going to be close, or do you think that
I don't think it matters.
I don't think it matters.
Yeah, he's almost bordering. Okay. He's almost bordering around that Mahomes. Screw it, we're just going to throw it anyway. We're up by 30.
Yeah,
just keep throwing it.
Definitely
I got that feel. But it's one of those things where like I look at it and I'm like, the pass attempts might be something to look at as opposed to the yards. Now, the pass attempts, I think the last time I just checked was like 38.5. This guy's throwing like 47.
My first poll was to say under, but I think you swayed me. I think I'm back on the over on that. I think he's going over. So
who's that? Herbert?
You convinced me.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like it's hard to gauge because like they do have a decent enough secondary, the Colts, to keep him honest, but
it doesn't matter.
He had a bad game last week and still threw for like 300.
Don't throw Stephon Gilmore's side. That's all you got to do. Don't throw to Stephon Gilmore's side. All right, game started. Foles is already one pass completed. I'm on my way to 33.5.
There you go. 32 more. 32.
Yeah, only 32 and a half more. That's all he needs.
60 minutes per game. He just needs a pass every second, every other minute. That's it.
Hey, it's a thing, Dan.
All
right, Gladys, take us home. Take Jack for a walk and take us into 2023 because we'll be back on Monday, January 2nd. So we'll see everybody in the new year.
Happy New Year, and thank you, Captain Joking, and Jared, and Gator J, and Terry TV,
Mr. Scampers.
And Mr. Scampers, who I've missed.
Pittman over 65.
I know, he almost threw a pick. It was almost a pick, Gator. Because in one of my bets, I have the Chargers defense anytime touchdown. So I need that to happen.
65 as well. There you go.
And we will see everyone. Everyone be safe. Like if you celebrate New Year's, because it's on a Saturday this year.
It is. So everybody.
New Year's Eve is on a Saturday. You guys be safe. Uber it or whatever. What's the other one? Lyft or whatever or call your best friend.
Yeah, whatever car service you prefer. For everybody that's still alive who needs miracles tonight, I hope miracles happen. And good luck this week. Good luck in week 17. And we will be here to give you all the injury roundup.
Keenan Allen high. Let's do it. All right, you guys. We thank you so much. And we will see you next week. Adios, my friends.